Welcome to Agenda Edina, a program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. Here are a few interesting facts. In 1972, the average new car listed for around $3,500. The best-selling car of the year was the Volkswagen Beetle, and a gallon of gasoline cost 36 cents. Automobiles and the industry and infrastructure supporting them have changed a lot in the past 50 years. However, many of the City of Edina's parking regulations have not. Last month, the City Council approved a zoning ordinance amendment bringing parking regulations into the modern era. Issues with parking requirements often arise when new developments are proposed. Community Development Director Carrie Teague said developers sometimes seek more or fewer parking spaces than guided by Edina's parking regulations, and residents are sometimes concerned that proposals include too much or too little parking.
Edina's off-street parking regulations haven't been amended in the last 30 to 50 years. So what this amendment does is bring our codes up to today's standards, where in the last 10 years we've been granting a lot of variances for the projects that you see around town. With this new ordinance, variances would likely not be needed.
The Planning Commission recommended changes after evaluating such things as trends, use of decades-old parking lots, current and projected quantities and availability of mass transit, differing needs for different areas of town, incentives for reduced parking, including increased green space, climate change, and equity, and previous approvals or rejections of requested variances to Edina's parking regulations. The amendment generally reduces the minimum number of parking stalls required and establishes maximums for certain land uses, such as retail, office, and multifamily residential. The new parking regulations went into effect in August. For years, Dennis Schulstad and his wife Pam walked around Centennial Lakes Park with their golden retriever. Now the retired brigadier general plans to honor his late wife with a piece of public art there.
This is the crown jewel of Edina, Centennial Lakes. And so I know when we walk around here, Pam knew the name of every dog. Not necessarily the people, but she knew every dog. And so that just means a lot. It's a great location.
Last month, the Edina City Council accepted a donation from Schulstad for a bronze sculpture in memory of Pam. Artist Nick Lagueros worked with him to create a piece of original artwork of a dog. The art will be placed along the lake in the southwest portion of the park on a solid block of Chilton limestone. The plantings and landscaping around the statue will also be enhanced.
We have a lot of dog walkers, a lot of dog enthusiasts, a lot of dog lovers at the park. Adding this dog statue, the golden retriever, will definitely add to their enjoyment of the park to see that here.
The sculpture is expected to be in place early next spring. The water in Lake Cornelia next to Rosland Park is in poor health, but a new water filtration system is set to change that. A 9 Mile Creek Watershed District project to filter out pollutants from stormwater runoff is now online. Edina TV's Dan Carpenter shows us how the system works.
Lake Cornelia's green hue is a visible sign of a reoccurring problem.
We've had blue-green algal blooms consistently over the last 3 to 4 summers, and so much so that we've posted advisories on the lake for people and pets to pretty much stay out.
Pollutants from street runoff end up here, where invasive goldfish move sediment around the lake. In August, that polluted water started taking a detour.
There's going to be a lot of bubbling action. And from here, it's going to be going down to the first filter.
The city gave the 9 Mile Creek Watershed District the land to build a water filtration system. The $1 million project was paid for mostly by grants.
It flows down through an anthracite filter. That gets the coarse debris out of it, and then it comes up through 3 different filter media.
Those 3 methods for filtering the water will be tested.
It looks like we got numbers on there
to see which one works best.
Gives us an option in the future to take out one if there's something that's totally innovative and new, to test that out, or switch it all over to one that ends up being by far the best.
Many of those involved in the project took a tour in late August and saw firsthand that the water entering Lake Cornelia is no longer a murky mess.
So that in itself is at least a good sign. It's a start, right?
A sign the health of this lake is on its way to improving. After 2 years of extensive monitoring, the answer to Lake Cornelia's pollution problem will have more clarity. I'm Dan Carpenter for Edina TV.
To help keep pollutants out of stormwater runoff, remember to pick up pet waste and consider adopting a drain on your street. To learn more, visit edinamn.gov and search Adopt a Drain. Before we go, a reminder, classes for Edina Public Schools begin September 6th. With school buses back on the road, please keep in mind that state law requires all vehicles to stop for school buses when the driver activates the flashing lights and has the crossing arm fully extended. Drivers who violate the law face a $500 fine. Also, drivers can face criminal charges for passing a school bus on the right, passing when a child is outside the bus, or of course, injuring a child. Thank you for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.